Hey guys, it's FanofFans47 here with another update to my Total Melodic setup. Now, as you may be able to tell, the setup is a bit taller than it usually is, and this is because of a major new addition. This down here is my Total Melodics ML301B. Yup, I now officially have two Melodics units on the setup now. Now, the Total Melodics ML301B is basically a stripped down version of the normal Melodics ML304B or ML1000. It just has a Westminster chime and a 4-tone paging chime. Now, I am aware that the ML1000 is already capable of these features, but I mainly got the ML301B as a collector's item, and plus the chime sound is ever so slightly different. So, yeah. So I'll just go over the features of the ML301B real quick. You can see it's got the same Total logo as on the ML1000. You can see I tried to line them up best I could, but because of the speaker post here, it's not completely lined up accurately, but it's whatever. And then all over here are all of the controls for the Westminster bell. You can see this Japanese writing here, which means Westminster. So starting on the farthest left here, this orange screw terminal right here, you adjust that knob to adjust the Westminster tempo. This does have variable tempo, unlike the ML1000, which has 3 fixed speeds, so that's cool, I guess. And next to that is the volume adjustment. And then there's a red LED that lights up when the chime is sounding. And then that right there is a pinhole push button. You stick a screwdriver or something of the like into and it will activate the chime. Moving on over here to the 4-tone announcement chime controls. You got a little pinhole volume knob again, LED, and a trigger push button, except this one's on the outside for some reason. I don't know why they did it. I don't know why they did away with the different buttons. And the Japanese writing, which means chime. And another thing that's interesting I noticed is that over here, you can see on the Melodics ML1000 it just says Melodics. But down here in the ML301B it has underscores and it's spelled out Mel-O-Dix. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know why they did that. Anyway, moving on to the back here, it's going to be kind of hard to see because the ML1000 jets out a lot more. But over there, I don't know if you'll see it very well, but those are all the relay contacts. It works just like how the ML1000 does. And then on the other side of that is the 100 volt in power supply. And then over here is the audio output jack. Now this doesn't have speaker output pins like the ML1000 does, so I actually just put in a little adapter that actually came with this Bluetooth transmitter over here. Yes, I still have this hooked up. Nothing's changed with that, by the way. But yeah, so I just hooked up this little adapter, and I put alligator clip wires onto it and connected them directly through the speaker terminals on the ML1000, which is then fed through the breadboard back here. So it's not the most ideal setup ever, but it works, I guess. And another thing that the ML301B doesn't have is a battery backup terminal. And that's what made it easy for me to run the ML1000 off of the US power grid. However, with the 301B it was a bit more difficult. I actually had to open up the unit. I just unscrewed these screws on the side here and opened the top. And I found out that inside is actually a transformer that converts the 100 volts AC down to 12 volts DC. So what I did is I cut the wires from the transformer, and I used a 12 volt DC power supply, which is this white one right here. You can see it goes up and goes inside of the ML301B and connects directly to the circuit board. So that's how I was able to get around the 100 volt AC issue. So I am using 2 power supplies now, but it's whatever. I kind of jerry-rigged it together with a splitter, which is not the best idea, but it works. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the ML301B. Now, before I show you what the ML301B actually sounds like, I want to show you this over here that I added. This right here is a monitor switch. I don't know if you noticed, but the little speaker that used to be here on this little bracket, I guess you could call it, is missing. And that's because this switch is here. So what this switch does is it basically cuts the speaker output to the speaker downstairs. It doesn't actually turn off the Bluetooth power supply, it just cuts off the sound output going to it. So I can just go ahead and flip the switch off like that, and now the sound output won't go downstairs. So it makes it a lot easier to do some debugging. So all the sound output just comes out right through here, and I can turn down the volume and do whatever the heck I want. So, yeah, I do like the setup a lot better. So yeah, with that said, I guess I'll go ahead and show you what the chime sounds like. So first we'll do the Westminster. So yeah, very similar sound to the ML1000 with some very minor differences that you could probably hardly notice. And now I guess I'll go ahead and show you the tempo adjustment. So I'll turn the tempo all the way down so you can hear what the slowest sounds like. I think it should be about right there. Wrong way. Okay, well apparently that was the fastest tempo. I'm still trying to get this whole thing down. Let's see here. Because I thought I turned it in the slow direction. Maybe if I just do that. Let's see. There it goes. So yeah, you can make it ridiculously slow or ridiculously fast, and there's several settings in between because it's variable. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and set that back to normal, which should be about right there. Let's go ahead and test it just to be sure. Yeah. Now this has no way of actually stopping the chime in the middle of its sequence, so I'm just going to do that until the chime finishes. Okay, the ML301B has finished its chime sequence, so now we'll go ahead and demonstrate the 4-tone paging chime. So that one has no delay. It just kind of goes. This one doesn't even have a relay hooked up to it. So yeah, that's the other thing. I had to turn the volume off on this because the only way to stop the Westminster chime in the middle of its sequence is to trip the control relay on the back, which, as you could probably tell from earlier, is not the easiest to access. So, oh well. But it works. And another little change that I made is I was having some issues with this Bluetooth transmitter where every night in the middle of the night it would just randomly shut off. So I actually put the ESP32 on a new power supply, which is right here. The power supply I had it running off before was 1,000 milliamps. This one's 1,500 milliamps, and it seemed to fix the issue. It's been about a week now with no issues, so that's good. But yeah. And one more little change that I made is I switched the EV20R to line mode because I noticed that there was a lot less static feedback in that mode. So I figured I'd just leave it in line mode, and then whenever I need to use the mic, I'll just switch it into mic mode and play the announcement chime. So yeah, that's really it for today's Melodic setup. It was a pretty big update. In the future, I do hope to get my hands on a Panasonic WZ248, which is kind of similar to the ML301B, except it has a few more chimes, and it has a built-in 3-strike, so I'm hopefully going to get that going every day at 3 o'clock, if I can get that installed. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and that will be it.